Hello UPSC aspirants, I'm Priyadarshini. So let's discuss certain questions which you have written in your UPSC preliminary examination. I know that is too tough this time and even the elimination method does not work this time. So I'll be discussing the set B of science and technology questions. Do not concentrate on the number of the question, just look into the questions itself. So going into the first question, about 3/4 of the world's cobalt, a metal required for the manufacturing of the batteries for electric motor vehicles, is produced by. Actually, continuously that is in news, and even in February, there was a survey which was released in the February regarding the cobalt producer all over the world. And frequently, I personally saw in the YouTube channel that cobalt manufacture is an efficient thing and which is most important thing all over the world, because nowadays we are replacing our electronic means our fossil fuel vehicles with our electronic vehicles. So in order to use electronic vehicles, the one of the most important metal which we'll be using is cobalt, means the resource. So I saw in the YouTube that what are the negative consequences of this cobalt manufacturing. It means that in Democratic Republic of Congo, a huge number of manual labor will be used and they'll be mining this cobalt with their hands. Means not proper machinery was used, directly the laborers will be involving in it. So in February particularly, there was a huge cry all over the world regarding the labor's condition in this cobalt reservoirs. So the survey was also released that who was the topmost cobalt manufacturers in the world, and apart from that, about the laborers continuously, it was in news. So the answer is what? Democratic Republic of the Congo, that is the C. Already I'm just telling you that 70% of the cobalt resources are in Democratic Republic of Congo. So hope, even though it is actually the factual question, even though you haven't attempted it, if you have gone through the current affairs, then definitely you can do it. And coming to the next question, yes, aerial metagenomics. If you have gone through your science and technology topic, what is mean by metagenomics? Means collection of DNA samples from directly from the environment or from the laboratory is called metagenomics. This you will be studying in science and technology. I personally taught my students in my class. So when you came to know about the metagenomics, directly you can choose what is the answer is. Yes, aerial means from the air directly you will be collecting the DNA samples. This was still under the survey, and this also around December, and means last year November and December, there was continuously in a research analysis paper, particularly in science and technology. So aerial metagenomics, if you know the definition of the metagenomics, then easily you can attempt this. Collection of DNA samples from the air in an habitat at one go is the aerial metagenomics. Means the answer is A. I'm just giving an explanation about the answers. In detail explanation and further expecting mains answer will be done in a future video presently. So next is microsatellite DNA. Yes, coming to the next question. Even this also I personally taught this in the class. We all know that DNA, which is the double helix structure shaped, will have certain chromosomes and nucleotides. This you will be learning in your biology class, particularly the DNA and nucleotides, and what are the different nucleotides which a DNA consists of. A human species consists of 4 nucleotides. We already know that: adenine, guanine, thymine and cytosine. Yes, DNA is nothing but the sequence of these nucleotides in a proper way. Generally, microsatellites meaning the sequence, the repeated sequences which were existing in a DNA is called, like you will be calling that as a polymers. Yes, what are the repeating things in your DNA sequence? That the other term for that is microsatellite. So using microsatellite DNA, which one of the following means is used for microsatellite DNA is used in the case of which one of the following? This was a question. So generally if think that your ancestors means like your grandmother or grandparents have certain particular type of DNA. we will evaluate or sequence the DNA of them. That is called microsatellite DNA. Means what are the repeated sequences which were present in your ancestors' DNA. And next thing, again you will be going to the parents' DNA. You will find a difference. Means from your grandparents and comparing that with your parents, you will be identifying the difference between your microsatellites. Means the repeated sequences there will be certain changes in these repeated sequences. Again, comparing with your DNA, it means that continuously the microsatellites DNA or the repeating sequences which were existing in the DNA will be changing with generations. So what is the main application of this microsatellite DNA? The name itself is telling it that studying the evolutionary relationships among the various species of fauna, that is means animal species. Evolutionary species means compared to your grandparents and compared to your parents, what type of changes did occurred in your present generation. Such type of evolutionary relationships can be known through microsatellite DNA. So the answer is A. And coming to the next question. Actually, this question comes under your government policies, but actually it is related to anemic, means anemia condition, where first of all, what is mean by anemia? Where the number of red blood cells in our body or the hemoglobin pigment will not be sufficient according to our body requirement. Then we feel anemic. Yes. So in order to overcome this condition, government have launched a strategy or a program that is called Anemia Mukta Bharat strategy. So in this, generally if you know something about the anemic condition and how to overcome that condition, you can answer this. So that is why we took this topic under your science and technology itself. So consider the following statements in the context of interventions being undertaken under Anemia Mukta Bharat strategy. So first one thinks it provides prophylactic calcium supplementation for preschool children, adolescents and pregnant women. Once you just Google out this Anemia Mukta Bharat strategy, this will be the first statement in that scheme. It means that prophylactic calcium means prophylactic, general meaning of prophylactic is something which prevents the disease. Yes, so obviously calcium supplementations and folic acid supplementations will be given in order to overcome this anemic condition. So when you go through the scheme, you'll have both the things, prophylactic, folic acid and calcium supplementations, but here they have given calcium supplementation. So if the statement consists of only, then definitely it is wrong. As it does not consist of only, then definitely it is a correct statement. Coming to the second statement, it runs a campaign for delayed cord clamping. This is very, very important, and World Health Organization also have made many campaigns on this. What is this delayed cord clamping? Cord clamping means what? Immediately when the baby was born, we know that our umbilical cord is connected to the placenta of mothers. So they'll cut that umbilical cord clamping, that is called cord clamping. Yes. So generally earlier, immediately when the baby born, either through C-section, means either through cesarean operation or through normal delivery, immediately the doctor will cut that cord. Actually this was have to be delayed. It means that through placenta, when the baby is in the tummy of mother, what happens? The baby can't breathe. The baby can't eat, the baby can't digest anything. So how the baby get all the nutrients and the oxygen inside the tummy of mom? Through placenta. Our mom's body is connected through baby umbilical cord, that is your called belly button. So that will be connected to it, and through placenta all the nutrients and all the required like oxygen amount will be reached to the baby. So immediately when the baby born, just give some time. Let placenta give more nutrients and more blood to the baby. So they'll wait for some time and they'll cut the umbilical cord. It means that the cord clamping have to be delayed for certain time period. So by this also you can overcome the anemic conditions. Anemic means blood level will be less in number or hemoglobin will be less in number. Immediately when you take the baby out, you wait for some time. Let the placenta, means the flow of blood from the placenta will be more to the baby, so that if you cut the cord, immediately the baby will receive the required amount of the blood already. So delayed cord clamping is also a campaign which is under this scheme. So if you know about the anemia, that is why I'm just telling you that these are science and technology topics. And next, third one is it provides periodic deworming to children and adolescents. We all know that deworming means we also have certain medicines for this for the children. Immediately after the birth of the children, you will be providing certain vaccines to them. So actually they are exposed, when children are exposed to the environment, definitely they will be attacking with certain microorganisms. In order to overcome that issue, this was continued. When you attacked with the deworming things or warming things, particularly you call that microorganisms which were existing in our tummy and particularly the intestines. Yes, so if they are in our body, then definitely there are chances that our blood will decrease. So this is one more strategy which was imbibed in this anemia mukta Bharat strategy to overcome the anemic condition. And next thing, not only always nutrition will be responsible, means because of lack of nutrition we will not become anemic. Certain non-nutritional cases are also there. Even through this strategy, that condition is also checked. Means anemic in endemic pockets with special focus on malaria and hemoglobinopathy fluorosis. Fluorosis means because of more amount of fluoride which is present in your water, your teeth will become yellow or black or brown. So in order to overcome that, even that is also included in your anemia mukta Bharat strategy. Hemoglobinopathy means like your blood disorders, like your sickle cell diseases. So, and malaria also means create certain abnormalities in your blood. So, certain non-nutritional causes are also addressed in this strategy. So, the answer is, it's a D. All the statements 4 which were given under anemia mukta Bharat strategy were actually correct. So, coming to the next question, consider the following actions. Yes, so here we'll be learning about acceleration. What is mean by acceleration actually? Generally we know the speed, means how much of distance we'll be traveling within a particular time is nothing but the speed. But do you think that if you want to reach, if you have started from your home and if you want to reach to the college, do you continuously ride your vehicle on the same speed? There are changes in your speed. Yes, sometimes you will be going with 30 kilometers per hour, or sometimes it is 60 kilometers per hour or something like this. Change in the speed, that is nothing but the change in the velocity of a vehicle, is nothing but a acceleration. So here, now you understood acceleration, then acceleration sensors will be imbibed in most of the devices which we're using in our daily life. So coming to the question, consider the following actions. Detection of car crash or collision which results in the deployment of airbags almost instantaneously. We all know that when we have a huge crash in our vehicles, means when we met with an accident, immediately the airbags which were imbibed in the vehicle will be open. How it opens? Because acceleration sensors were imbibed in it. When a vehicle get what crash with another vehicle, then immediately the acceleration or the speed changes. So if that momentum reaches, then immediately the airbags have to be open. So yes, this acceleration sensors will be used in this. Next is, in how many of the above actions the function of accelerometer? Accelerometer is the machine which will calculate this acceleration in a particular device. So second one, detection of an accidental free fall of a laptop towards the ground, which results in the immediate turning off of the hard drive. Definitely, yes, if suddenly a laptop fell on the ground, then immediately with a particular amount of the speed or acceleration, it will hit the platform. Then definitely that at that place accelerometer also functions. So second option is also right. And third one, detection of the tilt of a smartphone. We have observed this so many times. If you have a smartphone, definitely we have a smartphone, yes, we will be tilting it. Either you have to a black backflip or opening or anything. So immediately when you open it, like your laptop, or even you flip the things or tilt the things, immediately your image will be means adjusted according to the screen. If you're watching like this vertical, then your image will be vertical, and automatically if you will just tilt your mobile in a horizontal way, if your switch mode is on, then definitely the image will also be switched. So even for this purpose, the accelerometer detection is also there in your devices. So the answer is C, that is all the three statements have accelerometer, means definitely the accelerometer is required for all the three things. Yes. So coming to the next question, consider the following text. Actually this is pure yes, you have to know the terms. Here you can't change. But Cephids are the stars which brighten and dim periodically. It was given vice versa. Means alternatively they have given. Means approximately when we see onto the sky, then definitely frequently or periodically certain stars will brightens up. That phenomenon is called as Cephids. And nebulae is the giant clouds of dust and gas in the space. So that was given in a reverse way. And the pulsars are actually, or sometimes neutron stars, another name is the pulsars. So neutron stars that are formed when massive stars run out of your fuel and collapse. Now we all know that sun is a star. Then sun has certain energy, hydrogen and helium, and it is continuously giving out of energy. So they will also a certain time period where the sun will divide, or will the fuel which was existing in the sun will collapse. So at that time that sun will be converted into a neutron star, and it is also called as a pulsars. So this is completely the factual based question, so I can't give you much explanation about it. So answer is the only one statement is right, that is the third, pulsars. And coming to the next question, which one of the following countries has its own satellite? We all know that NAVIC system, satellite system, which was being developed in India, where we will be using our own GPS. Presently, we are using the GPS, that is Global Position System, that is actually belongs to the US. And so presently there are many other countries which already developed their own navigation satellite system, but recently only India and Japan have developed their own navigation satellite system. So as these two are in news, it was asked. So answer is what? The Japan here. So it was also factual question. And with India, India is NAVIC, and apart from other three countries which were developed, which has its own navigation satellite system, Japan was the other country which was holding this own satellite navigation system. And coming to next question, consider the following statements. This also I have taught many times in the class. I'm so glad that many questions which were repeated here. So basic difference between a ballistic missile and the cruise missile. I just want to tell you one difference, that the ballistic missile follows the parabolic path. When you took a ball, when you take a ball and you just throw it off, the path in which the ballistic missile takes, that is the parabolic path. So that is nothing but this phenomenon works out in the ballistic missile. Cruise missile is like a jet. Yes, if your target is here and if you want to launch a missile from here, then definitely the parabolic path is chosen by ballistic missile, whereas the cruise missile will follow like this. If there is an obstacle here, if there is a mountain here, then it means that in cruise missile, the missile takes the path which is very close to the earth, or which will not go beyond our atmosphere, but ballistic missile will go beyond our atmosphere and reach the target. This is the main difference between the cruise missile and the ballistic missile. So first you can see, I already told you that cruise missile works under the jet propellant and subsonic speeds, but here you can see ballistic missile was given like this. It means that the two statements were reversed. Actually, the ballistic missile works under the rocket powered only in the initial phase of fight, but cruise missile works under the jet propelled at subsonic speeds. But this was given a reverse. So the first option is wrong. And next one, Agni 5 missile, which was frequently in the news, and BrahMos missile also, which was in news. BrahMos is actually the cruise missile, and Agni missiles, all the Agni missiles which were developing by DRDO comes under your ballistic missiles. You can see here Agni 5 is a medium range supersonic cruise missile, but Agni 5 is what? Ballistic missile, and BrahMos is actually what? The cruise missile. So here also the statement was reversed. So which of the above statements are correct? Means neither one nor two. So the answer is D. And coming to the Next answer, with reference to green hydrogen, I'm expecting a mains answer also from this because green hydrogen is considered as a 21st century fuel. So, with reference to green hydrogen, yes, I just want to give you a small glimpse in order to understand the fossil fuels elimination. As we all know that United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change is frequently on means telling other countries to reduce the global gas emissions. So alternative for green gas emissions, whatever the fossil fuels which were using like petroleum or diesel or natural gas or anything, alternative is electric vehicles, and one more alternative is the green hydrogen fuel. So coming to the green hydrogen, any fossil fuel or any fuel is a combination of particularly the carbon and hydrogen bonds. It may also consist of other bonds, but mainly it consists of carbon and hydrogen. So when you combust, when you kickstart your vehicle, the combustion process starts in your engine. So immediately they will burn out the hydrogen. The actual requirement for a fuel is hydrogen. Yes, and whatever the carbon compounds or any other bonds which were present in the fossil fuels, that will be ejected out through your cylinders. So it means that these are actually what? Emissions which were not actually required and which are creating our climate change problem. So in order to overcome this, directly we'll be using the hydrogen. We don't need any carbon combination or anything, directly we want to use hydrogen. This is a main phenomenon of green hydrogen fuel. So coming to the first statement, it can be used directly as a fuel for internal combustion. Definitely it is an yes, because that is the main purpose of the green hydrogen itself. And second one, it can be blended with a natural gas used as a fuel for heat and power generation. Definitely when you search applications of the green hydrogen fuel, then definitely this will be your the third statement. And it can also be used as hydrogen fuel cells to run the vehicles. Presently we are developing the batteries, yes, and hydrogen fuel cells are most important things. Presently we are trying to use this in to run the vehicles. Why we are not yet up to the mark in order to produce this hydrogen fuel? Because it is too costly and there are certain disadvantages while we are using this hydrogen fuel, and still our automobile industry did not update their engines in order to cope up with this hydrogen fuel. So these are the reasons why are we not using the hydrogen fuel. But coming to the applications of the hydrogen fuel, all the three statements are correct. So the answer is C. So these are the science and technology topics which we have discussed. So just go through it and stay tuned for Ignite IAS for the more updates. Thank you.